Some minor update. Just happened now. Nearly a gig. Let's see what's the update. I might look fresh, but I feel tired as fuck. I slept only 3 hours. Where are the patch notes? These are from yesterday. I can't see the patch notes. I don't know what they fixed. I needed to wake up earlier, okay? I had to do something outside. It was just a must. Then I came back home. Till I prepared lunch. Then feed my cats. Take a bath, shaved. Clean the toilet for my cats. You don't know how many toilets I got over there. It takes half an hour to do it. Then 6 hours passed like this. Time goes faster and faster. I thought it was a trip, then I started to research the topic of time. And I heard from some scientists, a lot of them have the feeling like time is speeding up. Like, for example, I had a feeling like, well, as far as 15, 20 years ago, days were longer for me, right? I could do way much more things and have way much more fun. They just felt longer. Like it was a trip, you know, and I started to notice that in the last year or so. That strange feeling of time speeding up. And then I researched the topic a bit, and there are some scientists that want to change how we count time, because they calculated that the Earth is going faster than it was going like 100 years ago, right? Which means they need to move like every minute for a second to fix the time. Okay, so we don't have a feeling like it's going faster than it is. So every minute for a second. I forgot if it's a second less or a second more, it doesn't matter, but that's their calculation. And then I realized I'm not tripping. There are more people that realize that time is passing faster than it was. And for me, it's passing extremely fast. I look at the watch. Man, I woke up like 15 minutes ago, already 7 hours, 8 hours passed. I did nothing. Basically nothing. Just can't believe how fast time goes. Now I'm gonna play for 6, 8, 10 hours. It's gonna pass in a minute. Literally in a minute. 15 years ago, I wake up, get the newspaper. I don't watch newspapers anymore. I don't read them. It's all fucking lies. And corruption with media. But I remember how it was, you know. Wake up, get a coffee, get a newspaper, read, and 20 minutes felt like, I don't know, like an hour now. Easily like an hour. I don't know what the fuck is happening. I really don't know. I'm not a Russian. Was never a boss. But I had my moments when I was younger. I'm not a regular gamer, okay? I'm really not. It's my passion, okay? My only hobby. But I'm far away from that. Not a classic gamer at all. I need to decide if I want to go to that world wound. We're gonna check the world wound today. See if we can grab some free XP. I don't know, for me personally, time flies. It fucking flies. I'm going very fast. I got the achievement. What achievement did I get? Blight of Dresden. Probably it was bugged and now I received the achievement. Blight of Dresden. 0.6% of players playing on a core difficulty or above allow Koruzina to summon a powerful demon in Dresden and defeat him. Blightma. Only 0.6% defeated Blightma. Although it makes sense, fucker is hard. He's probably a menace even on core difficulty. Imagine hard and unfair. I barely got him after 4 hours of trying. Barely. So many 0% achievements, man. I'm gonna have them all one day.
Battles await.
One day. I wanna go to Pelura's Fall.
I will be glad to accompany you. Gather your companions and let us depart.
I don't believe it's the matter of years, whether you're 20, 10, 30, 40. I believe it's the matter of the Earth speeding up. We've seen all of this yesterday, so we're gonna speed it up. Already read through all of this. They introduce you to the World Wound and through their secret hideout, and they need assistance in different things. They are researching the World Wound. That's the story in short. For 100 years, they remained on the borders of Hell, where the World Wound is, and demons cannot spot them. Alright, nice and easy now. I was so tired yesterday, I just couldn't do this part because it seemed huge. Stargazers. Small mushroom patch that has clearly been tended with blooming here. Concerned guard.
Move out.
Man, my mount got bigger. That's a huge motherfucker now. How about you stay somewhere? Somewhere like behind. God damn it, huge motherfucker. Stay on the left, whatever. Pelura's Fall. Concerned guard. How does it feel to guard the same place for so many years? I don't even notice the year as they pass. Just get up every day and do my job. We'll go visit scholars, look at a calendar and be horrified, but what would be the point? Even before the demons showed up, I made a vow to defend this temple. This vow is all I have left, really. The Sarkoris that I knew is gone, so there is no use dwelling on the past. You're especially happy to see me. What does that mean? I would have never thought I'd say, but there's an important matter that can only be entrusted to a stranger. I think there's a traitor among us. Someone who's trying to bring the demons here. I found a strange letter hidden in the cave. I think we need to find out who left it there and why. Why haven't you told Leander or Qatar about the letter? Just imagine what will happen if Leander announces there's a traitor among us. Even if it turns out I'm wrong, the damage will already be done. We stop trusting one another, we won't stand a chance. We might as well leave the temple and let the demons finish us off. We need to get to the bottom of this, but it must be done quietly. What was in the letter you found? That's the problem, I don't know. I think it's some kind of code. It looks like a constellation chart. Who hides a constellation chart in a cave? Something is wrong. What do you need me to do? We go to the caves and hide behind a large stone covered with runes. Watch to see who comes to pick up the letter. I left it there as a bait, and I made sure to leave everything else untouched. No one has come for it yet, but when you find out who has betrayed us, come and tell me. Why not set an ambush yourself? You wouldn't be able to do anything without people noticing. Just racking up those quests.
Head on.
Solving nothing along the way. Is that a letter? Lord Religion.
Got it.
In Hall it reads, "Oh Sarkoris, all our tears are for you, our lost lad." Holy fuck, nearly 2000 XP for Lore Religion check. What on earth? Cryptic message. It appears to be an ordinary constellation chart, but something about it doesn't seem right. Someone left it in the caves near Kulura's temple. Ambush the traitor. Looking for something. Are you the commander from Dresden? Just taking a walk. My name is Vestari. Pleased to meet you. And you are one of the Stargazers. You must forgive my jumpiness. It's been a long time since I've seen a friendly face outside the temple. Why are you mumbling? Tell me the truth or I'll shake it off for you. You don't live in the temple, so there's no need to hide anything from you. I'm breaking the law, but I haven't betrayed anyone. It's quite the opposite, actually. You should come with me and ask Christri about the meaning of the note. Christri always says she doesn't want to hide anymore, so maybe talking to you will help ease her conscience. Talk to Christri. At least that one fast. Kulura's fall. Yeah, I did today. My wife did a haircut for me. Statue of Kulura, made in a simple but expressive style characteristic of Sarkoris. Liland Azat. here to be in the palaces of Lady Pulura. I long to fly again to see my brothers and sisters to be free. Hand of the Inheritor. Eliandra. What's my mission here and what are we waiting for? Came to seek the council. Pulura Stargazer can help us find the missing angel Tergona. While Eliandra makes preparations for the scrying ritual, she asks you to find out more about the worries and doubts of those who live here, and to provide assistance to anyone who needs your help. How did you find about the secret here? Pulura herself told me about the temple and about the mission of its inhabitants. The Mistress of Aurora, Yombara, and I may differ in character and appearance, but we are both angels and protectors of good. We help one another, especially when the matter involves demons, our foe, or of old. Tell me about Eliandra, the ideal priestess, selfless servant of the goddess and her people. Discovered her gift when she was only 13, and ever since then she has healed, guided, and protected inhabitants of Sarkoris. I met very few mortals who are capable of such abnegation. She never married or had family, but has devoted herself entirely to service. In return, the Shimmering Maiden rewarded Eliandra for her service. She has always been the strongest of Pulura's priestesses. Qatar, a warrior, and the strength of his spirit is unmatched. Devoted his entire life to the cause. Resilience and dedication he clapped to protect the preserved temple throughout the madness of this past 100 years. However, he does not simply defend the temple from its enemies, he also provides the community with leadership it needs. Eliandra inspires and heals, but that on its own is not enough to keep the temple functioning over such a long period. Eliandra. My radiant friend. They name us a radiant friend. Why did you ask me to talk to the temple's inhabitants? Are you worried about something? On impulse. To put it simply, a heavy burden has been placed on our shoulders. And it's easy to grow weary. We not only live in complete isolation, but we have done so for a very long time. An entire lifetime for some races. I'm afraid many will be broken by this ordeal, if they have not been already. It would be easier if I could be dispassionate, like Qatar, but I cannot. I worry for those in my care. I feel like a mother who cannot protect her children from pain and grief. When I saw you, I hope you'll be a breath of fresh air, that your presence would renew and restore our spirits. Tell me about your mission, why decide to remain here in the World Wound. The temple's been blessed by Pulura, whether it's day or night, the stars are always visible within the heart of the sanctuary. It is why those who study the stars conduct their observations here. We've seen this part yesterday. They want to heal the world wound. And to weaken the heart. Heart of the world wound. Sarkoris was a wonderful land. Even if many thought it savage and wild. It still lives in my memories if nothing has changed. I can see the barges gliding across the surface of the lake, smell the fresh air, feel the wind on my skin as it moves through the green forests. Sarkoris was never ruled by solely one person, nor was it governed by a single fate. Clans lived in accordance with their own customs and settled important issues through lively debate and communal meetings. Matters involving the whole country were decided in ease by gathering of the elders, priests, druids, and chieftains. We worship Erastil and Pulura, spirits of our honorable ancestors, the sanctity of nature, and a dozen different deities and magical creatures. That is what Sarkoris was, a land of freedom. However, that freedom was not extended to all. As I think you know, only the magic of druids, priests, and other divine spellcasters was considered honorable. Those who used arcane magic were treated with suspicion, which grew into hatred. It grieves me to remember this, for our hatred was returned to us in full when the witch Arilu took vengeance on those who had hurt her. So Arilu Warlash retaliated against Sarkoris. That's why she opened the world wound and let demons in. What do you know about Arilu and the opening of the world wound? More than some, but not as much as I wish. I've been to Threshold, the fortress where outlawed spellcasters were held, and where Arilu conducted her monstrous ritual. I even saw the betrayer in the flesh, though only briefly. Arilu was rumored to be a dangerous witch. For many years she lived in isolation, carrying out strange experiments in deliberate obscurity. But she was noticed in the end. The best witch hunters tried to capture her, and it's said that many of them perished in the attempt. But when I saw her, she was no longer a dangerous enemy. After many days in dungeon, she was nothing more than a pale shadow. I was told her spirit was already broken when she was brought to Threshold, and she gave the guards no trouble. However, I think it's safe to say now that her compliance was simply a ruse, a cunning deception. When the wound opened, it shook the world. My lady Pulura, in her heavenly wisdom, was one of the first to realize the magnitude of the threat, and sent her priests a vision, along with an order to run and hide. Many couldn't find it within them to obey this order. How could they leave their beloved homeland, their homes, family and friends? Many of my brothers and sisters perished, losing a hopeless fight against wave and wave of demons. I was destined for a different fate, and so was my shrine. Lady Pulura hid it from the eyes of the demons. He had a vision telling me about the work that needed to be done to avenge the fall of Sarkoris and rid the world of the world wound. That was when I learned that this difficult task would take a century to complete, and it would require us to make many sacrifices, but I was willing. There are celestials as well as mortals here at the temple. Of course, angels and azatas from the court of Lady Pulura often visited the temple in its days of glory. When this place was hidden away and we were given our mission, some of them decided to stay and support us. Like us, they have not gone beyond these walls for 100 years. They help us here in the temple, and of course we're all united in our desire to heal the world wound. Okay. Do not hesitate to contact me if you need anything. You can also rest in the guard's room when you're tired. Corruption of the Abyss cannot reach you here. Our temple is built on a holy ground beneath the stars of Pulura. No corruption in Pulura. No bloody corruption.
I lead. You follow.
Oh my god, let's... Odin. Schedule listing the daily responsibilities of the Stargazers and guards. The schedule is packed so tightly those who adhere here to it must have little time to think of anything else. The board filled with complaints and suggestions. Some birthday greetings and an announcement that Tariel is willing to teach the flute to anyone who wishes to learn. The table is set with bowls of unappetizing conjured food and glasses of water, clearly intended to be a feast, though it's a rather austere affair. Parcels wrapped in parchment and tied with string, perhaps they're meant to be gifts. Oh, then dwarf. Plates, cutlery, still no nice cups. Just have to wrap the present. He notices us. We finally have guests in our quiet abode. Please come in, have a glass of water. Unfortunately, there's nothing else I can offer you, but our water is of the very purest quality. I'm Odin, by the way, a Stargazer, at your service. What's the occasion? My daughter Renhiel turns 125 today. They can't get old in Pulura's temple. That's the background story of it. Rabbi, what's up, Rabbi? Yeah, I patched the game. 1 gig patch, but there were no notes when I patched it. Are there notes of the patch now? Or not? I would love to read those notes. There already was a patch, yeah. 1 gig. Kosovsky, yeah. Yeah, I did. Or better to say my wife did. It's not that I don't read chat, I just read the chat when I'm done with reading here. I can't read 2 things at once. $125. Important date calls for an important gift. Where could I get such a present? Well, luckily there's some soft stone in the local caves. I carved her a clasp for a cloak. Came out alright, I think. Of course, when we complete our star vigil, I'll get her something better. It seems like only yesterday she was running around in her little shift, asking me to toss her in the air. And now 125. Time flies. Where's the guest of honor? Truth to be told, I don't know. Can only hope she's in a safe place with her mother and aunts. You see the packages in the corner? Those are all the gifts I never had a chance to give her. I suppose she's outgrown most of them. But what if I'm a grandpa now? My grandchildren could have done. I wish I knew. Wait, you're from Dresden, you must know about Winter Sun Village. There was a temple of Gorum there 100 years ago. Maybe it's still there. I know that the priests of Gorum were hiding my family and other refugees from when the invasion began. Go to the temple and search for anything or anyone that might provide answers about what happened to my family. Even if the truth is bitter, I want to know. I can't remain in blissful ignorance forever. Very well, I will find your daughter. You're putting aside your own important affairs just to help me. I don't know how to thank you. He gives you a small package. If you find Renhild, please give this to her. Let her know her daddy always remembers her birthday, and give her all my love and good wishes. Pure water is very rare in the wound. Do not underestimate its value. Find Renhild's trail in the shrine of Gorum, near Winter Sun Village. Next.
Take a look.
Dagger of Arrigo the Saint. It's only masterwork, finesse wielding. What? No pluses, nothing. Master weapon wielding provides +1 enchantment to attack rolls. The funerary dagger of Sarkorian chieftain. The hilt bears the following epitaph. I'm the mighty chief, Arrigo the Saint. Fought like a dragon on behalf of my clan, but in the end I left the world behind and devoted myself to Pelura. What's the deal with this? It's a very weak weapon. A rack filled with what looks to be ancient Sarkorian weapons. Ancient Sarkorian weapons. Ragnar's Stargazer. Who's Ragnar? There's a lot of NPCs in Pelura's Fall. Probably another Stargazer. You're a gift from heaven. I'm Ragnar the Stargazer. Very pleased to meet you. I think you might be the only one who can help me. Why am I the only one who can help you? The undead roam near the entrance to our caves. They were once great warriors, but now they're just corpses, raised to undead through some foul ritual. I've become very interested in one of them. I studied the history of Sarkoris. Legend tells of a great lurer named Aelberige, who was buried with his mighty sword, the Rage of Ice. Of course, most people think it's just a myth. When the guards told me they defeated an undead that was wearing ancient armor and wielding an ornate sword, I almost lost my mind. The guards don't want to get near the corpse again, even if he really is dead this time. But maybe you could bring me the Rage of Ice. Just think we could prove that Aelberige, the Master of Ease, really existed. It'd be a breakthrough in historical research. A young man such as yourself must find it difficult to be stuck in one place for so long. A young man, you say? I've long forgotten how old I am. By Pulura's grace, my body does not age, but my soul feels dry, as if I'm nothing more than an empty husk. I used to admire the stars, but now all I see are a collection of dim lights in the sky. I know their paths by heart, but you're probably not interested in that. Why you have so many weapons? I collect ancient Sarkorian artifacts and study their history. We all find ways to escape the monotony of life in this temple. If we didn't, I think we'd lose our minds. Anyway, this is what I do. Thanks to Cabriri's cultists, there's plenty of material for me to study, though it's somewhat lacking in variety. Tell me about atrocities committed by Cabriri's cultists. You must have seen them. When the demons realized that the inhabitants of Ease were fleeing down the river, cultists of Cabriri, Lord of Ghouls, disturbed the slumber of the noble chieftains who were sent to their rest in the lake near the temple. The chieftains sailed on an ornate barges to Pulura's temple and then were sent on the waterfall. The waterfall is all dried up now, of course, but at the time it was part of the ritual ceremony. When they went on their final journey, the chieftains were dressed in their best armor, and their most prized weapons were placed at their side. They were also given a ritual dagger with an epitaph on its hilt. According to the one I looted now, according to the legends, the great chieftains were just sleeping, and they would awaken whenever Sarkoris was threatened. The legends were true, in a manner of speaking. They woke up, and thanks to the demons, they destroyed everyone who stood in their way. They still can't rest in peace, although the cultists have long since abandoned the lands. Luckily, the undead kill demons too, so in some strange way, I suppose our ancestors are protecting us. I'll bring you the sword. Bring the legendary sword to Regnite. Next. You can find out a lot about Sarkoris, the land you're currently on, okay, about the history, what happened before the crusade, why the world wound open, what Arilu Warlash wants, why is everything freaking happening, and so on. Okay, so Angel Mythic Path should be the default one for the first run, but most of the people just straight rushed for the Lich Path, for the Devil, and for similar bullshit. Okay, but this one feels like it's a canon, but the real one, because the entire story revolves around Sarkoris, demons, Arilu Warlash, and the World Wound, and we're currently very close to the World Wound. So I think I picked the good path, the best one available. But you see what decorated scabbard? A merchant play well. Christri is for the quest about the letter. The commander, I don't think the commander wishes us harm. If you want to ease your conscience, tell him everything. Vestaris said you can decipher this letter. Of course, because I'm the one who put the constellations there in the first place. The lantern bearer is a warden, so it means guard. The stranger is an observing guy, so that means we've been exposed. And the sleeping Tarask means we need to lie low and be more cautious. Vestaris said you want to confess something to Eliandra. She wants to confess that they love each other. loved each other for so long, we're practically an old married couple. Eliandra is against romantic unions because she thinks tempestuous passions will cause division in our community. She doesn't understand the nature of love. You can discipline the flesh, but you can't restrain the soul. Not that Eliandra would believe us, but Vestari and I really did try to resist our feelings. We made a vow to stay away from one another, to never again break the rules. But the bond between us proved stronger than our resolve. Perhaps it's the will of the stars. Despite everything that happened, we're simply two halves that are meant to be as whole. If Sarkoris hadn't fallen, we'd lived happily and freely. We wouldn't have to hide and we wouldn't have to exchange stupid notes. She's a kind and wise leader. I'll persuade her not to stand in the way of your love. I know her longer than you, of course. Eliandra is kind, but she's also very stubborn. Once she has made a decision, there is no point trying to change her mind. She and Qatar are much alike in that regard, except he always does what's right, and she always does what her heart tells her. And of course, her heart has told her that love should be forbidden, supposedly for the sake of the peace in community. Stupid rules haven't helped anyone to find peace. So what you wanna do, you idiots? You wanna fuck in the temple of Vulura? Close to the world wound.
Head on!
Dariel. Let's loot first. Well, to be honest, you should play as a freaking Paragon on a first run in Mass Effect. It's a canon story. You should experience canon always and then check other paths also. Hilor is in one of those two inns. There's a tavern and an inn. I think he's in the inn. The commander of Dresden, incredible. I never thought I'd hear those words. My name is Tyriel. I'm a Stargazer. Tell me this, commander, you make the rules in Dresden, but do you also abide by them? Why do you ask? Because I want to know if everyone is like Qatar. Are you trying to accuse Qatar of something? I known him for ages. Trust me, we were close friends for a long time. He really knows how to make a good impression. If you look beyond his fake exterior, you'll begin to see his true nature. Look for yourself, it's obvious. A week ago it was the Stone Tree. 3 months ago it was the outskirts of Winter Sun, and 20 years ago it was outside of Dresden. 50 years ago it was Ease, and finally 70 years ago the Stone Tree. I assume he's visiting someone, most likely a woman. So what? Forgive me, I haven't spoken to anyone about this for a while. To me this is as clear as day, but I can't understand how you might find my calculations confusing. The stars tell me about Qatar's movements, and I can assure you sometimes he goes to places that are not filled with demons and cultists, but with wine and women. Take Dresden, for example. So what? You see, Qatar has forbidden everyone who remain in the temple from seeing their family. He says it is dangerous and that we must keep the secret of our lair. But for some reason this rule doesn't apply to him, because he's a fucking warrior as far as I understood. We all vow to stay within these walls and fulfill our duty. Yet he gets to leave the temple whenever he wants, because he's a fucking warrior. So what is he up to there? I'd bet my life that he's going to see his wife Imris or some other woman. What other reason could he have to go to the Stone Tree? Dresden was still under control of demons 20 years ago. If you'd really be keeping an eye on Qatar, you would know that. Qatar went to the Stone Tree 70 years ago, and I know that because we haven't spoken since then. They didn't speak for 70 years, and they live in the same temple. Eliandra asks to check on him when he's gone for a long time to make sure he's still alive. That's why I have these calculations. It's nothing personal, as that we want the best for the temple. And what is a stone tree? A tall tree, withered and petrified even before the demons invaded. For some reason it remains standing. It's supposed to be a sacred place. They used to hold celebrations and weddings there. Imris and Qatar got married there too, you know. So it all makes sense. Why did she tell Alejandra that Qatar is breaking the rules then? Do you really think she'd believe me? She trusts Qatar more than any of us. She and Qatar agree on everything. She always takes his side. Okay. He stopped at the stone tree. May Pelura keep you safe. It takes also outside of the walls of Pelura, okay? Most of the quests now. 3 quests already outside. Monadic Deva. What is this? The Peck, the Vegan, the Patriarch, the Rider, the Daughter, the Stargazer, the Mother, the Stranger, the Follower, Cusp, the Thrush. What the...
Onwards!
What is this? Starry sky is miraculously reflected in the surface of the water. The mirrored image is perfect reproduction of the real thing, allowing you to see even the smallest details. The Stargazer. The Mother. What changes? The Peck. Let's click them all. Is anything changing on this or not? That might be the right combination for this. Might be the right combination for this. Stargazers. Need a lot. Big area, goddammit. Very big area. No perception checks. Take a look.
Call me again if you need to.
$4,000, nice. Material, scrolls, rare roots.
Move out!
Old map of Avista.
Head on!
Knowledge world.
A success worthy of praise.
Tomes are filled with ephemerites, data about the movement of the celestial bodies. The data seems to have been gathered over centuries. A set of tables filled with astronomical data and observations about the world. Again, nearly 2000 XP. What the fuck are these checks, man? Easy XP. Not need a love. Solve the puzzle, it's worth it. I don't know how. I haven't seen any patterns, anything at all. We'll see. Nice and easy. A dark-haired woman is absorbed in sketching an assortment of dagger blades lying on the ground before her. Thick sketchbooks beside her are also filled with drawings of weapons. Suddenly aware that she's being watched, the woman looks up from her work, an exclamation of surprise. A visitor in the temple. Your weaponry is so interesting. I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Nidalav, a priestess of Pulura, mistress of stars and farewells. Tell me about this place. Nothing that you couldn't learn from others. In an ancient temple, one of the most sacred in all Sarkoris. After the wound opened, it turned into a sacred enclave of resistance. Of course, we don't fight the demons directly, but our knowledge will help us to defeat them someday, once and for all. Who better to take up such a burden than us? Of course, we do not expect Lady Pulura to prolong our mortal lives, but I'm glad of her gift. I would gaze at the stars for another 100, even another 200 years, if it will help us succeed in our mission. And you're drawing what? By a stroke of luck, came across some blades belonging to ritual daggers. They were just lying in a box in some dusty corner. Just imagine Sarkorian art stored away in the temple and then forgotten. So this is what I do in my spare time. I gather the items that once made our nations famous and make sketches. And whatever I cannot find, I draw from memory. During the first 20 years of our imprisonment, I sketched out traditional clothing and adornments, tried to account for all the clans, even those that had perished or disappeared before the opening of the world wound. Luckily, items from all across Sarkoris are stored in our temple. They were once brought as gifts, or for the funeral rites of the chieftains. Then I switched to cookware, and then to wood carvings. The wood carvings took me almost half a century, since that was one of the main art forms practiced in Sarkoris. Now I have moved on to weapons. When I'm finished, it will be the most complete collection of sketches on the subject of Sarkorian art. At the very least, these items will be preserved on paper, if nowhere else. What can you tell me about the leaders, Leandra and Qatar? They certainly know how to make an impression, don't they? They're as different as day is to night. But it is their strength, and therefore ours as well. Qatar is our protector. He's a rock and anchor against the storm, holding fast against the tide of demon hordes. Leandra is our guiding star. She's been a leader to others since her childhood, and I should know. I followed her here to the temple. What about the dagger I found on the undead corpse? I recognize the workmanship. Daggers like this tell the story of our great pride and great sorrow. Did you know this temple used to be the gate through which the Sarkorian chieftains passed into eternity? When the rivers flowed with water, barges would depart from ease, carrying the bodies of the deceased chieftains. Once the bodies arrived here, and the proper rituals were observed, the dead were sent to their final journey. The burial barge would be set on fire, and the chieftains would set off on their last journey aboard the flaming vessel. I myself performed such rites for 2 chieftains, but the Worldbond did not spare our sacred waterfall or our dead. When the water began to dry up, the cultists of Cabri returned the bodies of the chieftains into undead. We sheltered behind the walls of our temple, all the while knowing that our noble chieftains had been made into monsters. They roamed the area, killing the refugees who were trying to flee the dying Sarkoris. What an ignominious end. Forgive me, this wound has not yet healed and likely never will, but if you can bring peace to our chieftains and bring me their weapons, at least 21 of the monsters raised by these cultists still remain. Great music here also. I don't know, I just wanted to explore the map first and then check the puzzle, but let's see. Because I really can't tell what the fuck is happening.
All this waiting bores me.
I don't see any changes at all. How the fuck can I tell? Huh? I really don't see any changes. I don't get it. There has to be some fucking inscription for this. I don't see the changes. Just this bloody things flying all over the place. How can I even tell from where to start though? There is no clear pattern. Which is which? You need the correct pattern for this. I just don't know, goddammit. I really don't know. You know how many possible combinations there are? It's like impossible. Impossible. Now without some inscription or whatever. I don't see a fucking thing changes. There's probably some note, and then you read it, and then you can resolve the puzzle. Yeah, I need to find a book for this. No bloody way, it's like clicking on random, it's gonna take forever. I'm gonna find them. Someone put a plate of food scraps near a hole in the wall.
Onwards!
To tame some small animal. How big these Stargazers gave us.
This was simple enough.
Easy money, easy XP. The old woman runs her bony fingers along the tops of several magic scrolls. Who are you? And who are you? The voice is not familiar and I can't see your face. No, I don't know you. My name is Vigdis. I was once a junior priestess of Pulura, and now I manage the temple resources and provisions. Put everything where it belongs, keep it safe. If you were once a priestess of Pulura, why aren't you a Stargazer like everyone else? My stargazing days are over. I only see what's under my nose. My old eyes should have some rest after all these years. Are you a trader? No. There is no trade in the temple. Who would trade with us? I make sure everyone is fed and their needs are met. Whenever anyone brings anything to the temple, they give it to me. Have you brought me something? Or perhaps it's the opposite, and there's something you wish to take? Everyone is free to take what they need. What if I want to take everything? Then you must have a great need. Everything here belongs to everybody. Show me. You may take or leave whatever you wish. Everything here is as much yours as it is ours. Man, it's really zero. I wouldn't take away from them anything at all, you know. I don't want to be an asshole. What's the point? I wonder if you gain something for giving them something, okay? Not if you take something. But what if you give something? Let's try to give something. Weird, this one. Very weird. Qatar. I didn't find any books about the puzzle, by the way. And I've been everywhere. No bloody books.
Move out.
Not a single book. Our gaze is clear and direct as he greets you. I'm listening. Tell me about Sarkoris. I would rather not answer the question. I'm sorry, that was rude. Not many can boast that their country has been wiped off the face of Golarion. Not conquered, not decimated, but wiped out, along with all of its people, cities, forests, and rivers. And I watched it happen with my own eyes. I don't want to remember what everything was like before. Do you know anything about Arilu Warlash and the opening of the World Wound? May that witch be damned for all eternity along with her progeny, if she has any. Yes, I know about her, though not much. There was no respect for arcane magic in Sarkoris, and there were reasons for her distrust. Divine spellcasters always have someone above them, someone who can control them. Dishonorable priest or a paladin will lose their power immediately. Even with the priest of an evil god, an enemy, you still always know who they are and what to expect from them. There is no higher authority for wizards. Nothing limits their mind or their experiments with the very essence of the world. Our elders tried to control this chaos as best as they could, but they did not wish to be harsh. They did not execute offenders on the spot. They simply put them in prison. Wizards weren't even forbidden from practicing magic. They simply had to do it under supervision. But with Arilu, everything went wrong. The witch managed to reach out to the Skari directly from the fortress where she was being held, and then served up her country on a silver platter to the lords of the abyss. How do you manage to keep your life in a temple a secret? When it made everyone believe that Pulura's fall was destroyed along with Sarkoris. We staged the destruction of the temple. It was 100 years ago now, but those of us who had families didn't even get to say goodbye. We couldn't let anyone from the outside world know that we were still alive and hiding in the temple. Since then, only a few of the most experienced rangers are allowed to leave the temple and go on raids. We do it secretly, pretending to be crusaders or cultists, and we go to great lengths to ensure we're not followed. So far, our tactics have been successful. We survived here for 100 years, and I hope things continue the way. Locked up for 100 years to keep their watch, forgotten by everyone, sounds familiar. I'm not judging your post, your watch. Have to go. No bloody books about the puzzle. Now that bugs me, to be honest. It really bugs me. Inheritor, you don't know anything about it. You... I want to talk to you about the Stargazers, Vestari and Christri. Although, let's say first. Vestari and Christri, my dear rebels, you must think I'm harsh for enforcing such strict rules here in a temple. Such measures are necessary when you live through decades of isolation in such a small community, shut off from the rest of the world. Love and all the jealousy, discord, quarrels, and breakups that go along with it could result in genuine disaster. Vestari and Christri are the living embodiment of such disaster. I love them with all of my heart, like they are my own children. However, before the temple was hidden 100 years ago, we could have 5 quarrels and 6 reconciliations, all between one moonrise and the next. Edicto, thanks for the follow. Skepti, thanks. Where were we? At other times, they would go a month without talking to one another. That created quite a problem, since Stargazers are supposed to share their observations and research. This carried on for years, until after a particularly public fracas, I decided to forbid all romantic relationships in the temple. It was an impulsive decision, I admit, but it was not made without reason. I was trying to maintain peace in our community, and I was also concerned for the feelings of others. Many of those you see here, Odin, Tyrael, and even Qatar himself, parted with their families for the sake of our mission. It's unfair to them to be the only ones so painfully deprived. So that is why love and relationships are now forbidden in the community. And as you can see, the rulers are largely the result of Vestari and Christri own actions. You lived here for many years, you become a family. Does a family reward love with punishment? Vestari and Christri have loved each other for a long time. It's not just a sudden whim, they deserve your acceptance. I'm afraid this decision will be the most difficult for Odin, Tyrael, and the others who have lost their families. It may also cause chaos in the future, but perhaps you're right. You should not try to thwart the desires of the heart. I will inform the community about the changes of the rules. Vestari and Christri, where were you? On the right or up here? On the right, I think. Let's see if we get some XP out of it. I hope I didn't doom the temple because of this decision. Would hate to see I doomed the temple because of this. I told Eliandra about everything. She won't stand in your way. She agreed for us. Thank you. I think you worked a miracle. $240 XP. Plus the check-in conversation too. Alright. We go outside. Find your table. We go outside. Check those undead. Ring of Summons is affecting everyone. Is it? 22. Dear God, the monk already on 5 attacks. You see their shit? And we're only level 11. That thing is bloody crazy.
I lead, you follow.
Dagger of Aremora, the Sky Reader. Let the Blackheart clan in the battle. Useless, these daggers. Completely useless. Ancient Sarkorian White. Ancient Sarkorian White. We should take a cleric for this, you know. Ascend to the top. The map is not a joke, seems like. If these are ancient whites, regular whites are pain in the ass. Now imagine ancients. Well, that's an ancient. Level 12. Let's see how he goes without buffs. More whites. There's gonna be a negative level here. Easy to kill. I got strong, but the negative level is just... There is no playing without that ward. Like literally no playing without that ward.
Let's move already.
Oh, the waiting's never fun.
Let's do any Mossi Travisi.
Stagioni Savitur! Stagioni Savitur!
Melis.
Savitur!
Bismuth is gonna die extremely fast. Although he can die without negative levels, I guess.
Stagioni Savitur! Laborane Sentes! Laborane Sentes! Laborane Sentes! Laborane Sentes! Laborane Sentes! Laborane Sentes!
It's good enough. For the start, it's good enough. What I got else that lasts for 10 minutes.
Stands in my way.
I got some new spells now. Straight 10 minutes energy. 1 hour per level. Effortless. Minute per level. 11 minutes. Good enough.
A bright future awaits us.
And you? Animosi. Anything else with 1 minute?
Missed me already.
Don't wanna waste way too much. Ah, we got flame strikes now. Solid opener.
Meditate on your mistakes.
You are my
Might
favorite
make you feel
aid.
better.
Blur. Got enhanced Phantasmal. Heroism Greater. We keep that one. We keep it. Patient.
The odds are against us. I don't
yes,
like
what?
that.
I'm always
Always
open
be
to
mindful
ideas.
for the worst.
The world's not ending just yet.
White should be evil, okay,
I'm
so
losing my
No reason to
temper.
pause.
let's give it to Lan. And we got Mark of Justice too. 2 uses of Smite. Grant ability to smite evil to all allies for 1 minute. This is a boss killer spell. It will come in handy along the way. Let's kill those whites.
None shall escape.
Out of my sight!
Simply business.
Without wasting spells, ancient Sarkorian whites.
You're in my way.
Ah, they got specters too. No, I don't want to waste. Yes, shoot.
Did you see that?
We should be fine. Easy. We need all of these daggers. 21 whites. In total. 21 daggers. That's the mission. Let's go.
Out.
Shape of the stone resembles a tall thin tree, and the surface feels like the texture of a tree bark. Ask Qatar about the mysterious grave. Tombstone engraved with the following epitaph: Qatar, a Sarkorian ranger. He walked many paths, but the last one led him to Pharasma's boneyard.
Head on.
He paid his own death. That's what this is. He just faked his own death. Are you
I
playing?
refuse to accept their statement.
Yeah, you're playing that. Stop them. Mrvic! Prestani. John. Mrvic. Where you going, Diran? I can waste one. Let's burst them.
You
Don't
crossed the wrong mongrel. Performance is lacking. You are lacking.
Careful not to get encumbered. Chieftain's knives. Lura's full.
Got it.
Are we in trouble yet?
Do not fear. Do not waver.
You won't survive me.
Easy this part. Extremely easy. At least so far. Torn out pages from Sarkorian book. Would this be for a puzzle? Years later, into the mountain valley, which for many years had lain uninhabited and had fallen into a state of desolation, rode the prideful erase. This is for the... It seems like it's for the puzzle. His steed was wild and fleet, his tall steep help shone like a gilded mask, and his sharply curved bow could strike from thrice times 300 paces away. Dauntlessly, did the rider ride into the remains of the settlement, growing up beside the stone pillars into which were carved images of ancestors. He bowed low before them, and then he sliced open his palm and bloodied those same stones. Then the rider unbridled his mount and sent him off. For his loyal companion would be of no use to him in the cramped caves. The rider checked his bowstring, descended into the depths, sat down in the largest of the caves and waited. Soon the pack appeared. They were hungry, wasted, and as such even more vicious, for it had been long since they'd eaten the human flesh they so favored. But the rider pulled his bowstring tight and let fly arrow after arrow. The darkness was no obstacle, as he used sound to guide his arm, until each dawn, to the very last, was stuck full. Perishing, the last of the pack creatures opened its maw, and in the follower's voice asked, "Who are you, mighty rider, who does not fear to tread here at the end of my cursed and rotten life? Tell me your name, my lord, and tell me from what noble clan do you hail?" The rider removed his tall helm with its gilded mask, and long braids tumbled free from beneath it. It was no man but the daughter of the wise patriarch, who on the brink of death made her swear one final vow, a vow of vengeance. For years she had roamed, bearing in her heart cold malice and righteous fury for all sorcerers and their ilk. For years her arrows had cut down despisable sorcerers, while her conviction had only grown in strength and certainty. It's not for the puzzle. And at last the hour had come for her to return and avenge the clan whose name has now been condemned to obscurity. She did not answer the dying monster, for while sorcerers are undeserving of even a word from a worthy person's lips, she burned the pack's stinking bodies, left the caves, bowed before the ancestors one last time, and departed, never again to return. It could be the part of the puzzle, but for sure it's not the entire
Another obstacle.
puzzle. Elder Earth Elementals. Well, that was fucking cheap, okay? Extremely cheap. What's up, badass?
I will help where I can.
Oh, the waiting's never fun.
A bright future awaits us.
Let's have some fun.
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
I don't know what they're casting there. I can't tell what they're casting. How are you against me, sucks? Thunder armor. Nah, they hate magic missiles. But they hurt.
Die!
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
This will leave a bruise.
God damn it, they hurt.
Victory is worth the pain.
Don't trigger two of those. One is enough.
Rules are made to be broken.
Goddamn disgusting
Welcome
ambush.
your company.
Patricium Turinos. Patricium Turinos.
Move out!
Perception checks, nothing. Do we get the XP for going down, huh?
Done!
Ooh, 2000 XP. What the fuck, it's broken. Solid amount of XP, especially for checks.
I lead. You follow.
They will break against our
Corpulent
resolve.
specters.
You won't survive me.
The sword quest. Pick up the sword. A dead man wearing ancient ornate armor and a golden crown. He clutches a long sword. Oh my god. Huh? Regnard. He's breathing heavily, his face is red with exertion. Holding a two-handed sword, but the weapon is obviously too heavy for him. The tip of the sword wavers as he holds the blade in trembling hands. I have to kill him myself. He takes up a fighting stance, but he's clearly had no training. He shifts his weight uncertainly. His knees are shaking. So you're responsible for this? I had a hunch that he might rise again. Usually after that, the undead simply decompose, but I was told this corpse was just lying there like nothing happened. I decided to try and fight him. Followed you, well, here I am. Stay back. Sound like our guards, whatever you say.
Yet another obstacle.
Chieftain Albery. Ah, it's level 20 barbarian. Holy shit, there's gonna be pain here.
Out of my sight! This thing refuses to cooperate.
God, rest in peace, Nenia. Why on earth would you go for Nenia? Oh, can I damage him or I need more Animosi Travisi? Holy shit are you? Holy shit, man. Nothing worse than a fucking barbarian. What do you mean your saves got bugged fully? What's wrong? Like a machine gun, yeah.
Let's move already.
travisi.
You require my unbiased opinion?
Na er orma. Na er orma. Na er orma. Alla swa her. Alla swa her. Alla swa her. We will win this war.
Rules are made to be broken.
Also against undead with Nanya.
Battles await.
No reason to pause. Oh, rely
I'm
on me.
losing my temper.
Adayan. Onan Adayan.
I will help where I can.
Missed me already.
All this waiting bores me.
Motherfucker, that one.
Adayan. Amranda. Ratio.
Together we stand.
The waiting's never fun.
You are my favorite aide.
I'm your blade.
Move out.
Oh,
Are
yes,
we in
what?
trouble yet?
Fighting for a righteous cause is certainly different from a simple massacre. The former is more bloody and performed with pinkies out. Let's have some fun.
Die!
Simply business.
You won't charge, will you? You won't annoy me that much. What are you doing? Rip Diran. Okay. Not that yet. Somehow he missed the tackle opportunity. That's a one shot if he scored there. Classic one shot.
Into the fray.
Let's hear you cry!
You tough motherfucker. can't hit us though, which is great. But when he hits, it's gonna be a one-shot. We should survive for good 2 rounds. No more magic missiles. And now you're useless. Completely useless. Literally useless. Oh, who dealt 95 crit? Grey Boar. And it was reduced. Imagine if not.
Did you see that?
Very nice. Not even a... Okay, he received 1 hit only. It looked... It looked, to be honest, very scary without buffs. Extremely scary. But it's fine. Oh my god, the fuck is a great sword. Rage of Ice. It's only +1. Greater Frost and Furious. Ancient sword that looks to be well preserved. Inscription on its hilt reads Rage of Ice +1 to the 8 points of cold damage on a successful hit. Furious weapon serves as a focus for its wielder anger. When the wielder is raging or under the effect of rage, the weapon enhancement's bonus is +2 better. This is +3 on a barbarian. Easily +3 with a greater frost. And we know one thing for certain: demons hate frost. You know. Yeah, it's a level 20 barbarian. I have a patch. I have a patch. We know no one can wield it, but I kinda wanna know how it looks like. Very nice details. I love it. Very, very nice details. He's got a dagger too. The Master of Eats. This is the dagger of the Master of Eats. Build a fortress of ease in the lands of Sarkoris. There is no other fortress like it in all the world. He built the fortress. A full plate +3. Mighty Constitution 4. Natural Armor 3. Ring of Protection 3. Cloak of Resist 3. Rich motherfucker. Mrvice. No one needs Mighty Constitution. .38 armor class. Hey, I have huge reflex, fortitude and will. Does Shake It Off finally works? Have they fixed? They fixed Shake It Off. Look at my fortitude, reflex and will. They fixed it. That was the patch. I think they fixed Shake It Off finally. It seems like it counts. They're using the effects and conditions now. Precise strike and outflank from team feats were working, okay? But it seems like they fixed Shake It Off. I'll know when I click on... Holy shit! Now I need to give Greybore Shake It Off also. It's not a big bonus because I only got 2 persons with Shake It Off. The rest of my team with Shake It Off is in Dresden. So this is gonna be 23 under buffs. It's gonna be 23, 18, and 21. Dear God, I got 40 armor class. There's a shield better. 160, 2 HP. Cloak of Resist. 21, 17, 18. Natural Armor 3. Armor class 39. Greybore. Armor class 26. Still resist. Amulet of Epic Suns. Natural Armor 2. Bardic performances. I don't have a bard. A very good amulet for a... This was made for Scald. Okay. This amulet of Epic Suns, it was made for Scald. Because you were supposed to go in, fight like a barbarian, and sing like a bard. So it's a perfect amulet to put on a Scald. This one. Armor class and additional rounds of bardic performance. Where are the patch notes? There were no patch notes when I updated the game. I wanna check the patch notes, see what they did. I know the patch is there, I already downloaded it. Let me save. I wanna see the patch notes. 104D, now it's here. Quests and companions. Ramian could disappear, good for early game. You can no longer be forever locked in Ivory Sanctum. The bug you were all speaking about in Ivory Sanctum is now fixed. 2 additional difficulty levels are added for the Crusade. I said it was easy, and I mean it, it's very easy. So now they upped the Crusade difficulty level 2. For the second run, definitely for the second run. I won't change a thing right now anymore. More UI text for the events of the Crusade. You can buy resources anywhere. Clarifications to the description of the morale banner. Prudent Feet works. Bless works. Less stand, you know, doesn't receive another use of after a save load. Corruption stack on some companions is fixed. All relics appear identified. No more pauses when you level up. When you cancel level up. Improvements for Mythic Retrain UI. Appearance in UI changed. No more freezes after talking with Finian. Achievements fixed. The behavior of numerous enemies has been improved. Looting a dead companion could trigger an endless loading screen after leaving location. It's fixed. No need to worry anymore about those bugs. Game-breaking bugs. A lot of fixes. They just keep improving. Thanks, Boros. Thanks. Yeah, just imagine in 2 years from now, when it's a perfect game. Just imagine. You know what I was wondering also? Let's see how good our loons are. Let's test them out, see if it's playable with loons or not. I think not. We're about to find out. It's a perfect opportunity to find out if they're ready or not. We go with unfair. And let's see. Let's see how tough the boss is.
Hmm? Oh, yes, what?
I'm without haste, by the way. I am with haste. 1 minute.
Meditate on your mistakes. It might make you feel better.
Oh, skip the pleasantries.
You require my unbiased opinion?
None shall escape.
I wanna realize if it can be played with loons or not. That's the first thing.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
For the second run, so I know to dismiss them all and get works. Very simple.
Simply business.
Let's hear
He's
you
gonna charge on
cry.
someone now. Who are you charging on? On Nenia?
You won't survive me.
This'll leave a bruise.
Fucking loons. It is winnable, but I would need to rest if I want to win on unfair.
Victory is
Definitely, I
worth
would
the
need to
pain.
rest because she's gonna get one shot if I do. We need less stand, in other words. We just need less stand. But he is insane. Look at the crits, 256. That's like fucking insane. You're not allowed to miss. You're literally not allowed to miss. You can't release the game as big as this without bugs. It's very simple.
Rules are made to be broken.
You are my favorite aide.
None shall escape. Die.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Simply business.
Let's hear you cry.
Hey, you get the fuck out, you moron! Jesus Christ. Doable, but we need to rest.
It's your time. Your plan went awry.
Jesus Christ with Cleve, man. Holy shit, this fucked hard. I won't waste time just because of this thing. No fucking way with these loads. Even, let's say I do it. Then we're gonna need Stone Skin also. And I would need to go back and get Social. And then it's doable with Social. The game is fucking crazy. It's just companions are weak. Nothing you can do about it. What's the difficulty now? Okay.
It went splendidly.
Remnants of a ship that once bore a Sarkorian chieftain on their final journey.
Let's have some fun.
Greater skeletal champion berserker.
Simply business.
That's so.